Hi, everyone. It is New Year's Eve. If you hear any explosions, there are a number of neighbors shooting off fireworks. It's been going on for hours, and it no doubt will continue to about 1:30 in the morning. Yeah. So, Happy New Year's. I want to thank every subscriber that has given me support throughout this year. Thank you. It's definitely needed. So it is very much appreciated, and well, it's not taken for granted. It has absolutely kept me going. So for everyone who donated, for everyone who left supportive comments, thank you very much. And I do hope everybody has a very safe New Year's Eve into the day. I want to speak more about these fires in Australia. And I came across some videos that really upset me. You'll learn why. But I want to start with this video that was sent to me by a subscriber whom I really want to thank for this video. It's very interesting, very short, but very, very interesting. Wow. So that cell phone is dangerous. It emitting very dangerous microwaves into your head. The smartphones, the iPhones. If you haven't gotten rid of yours, you might want to really think about it for, hey, the new year. They're weapons. This is a weapon of mass destruction. That's exactly what it is, a weapon of mass destruction. And this is a signature of microwaves, right here. All of these ripples, this lovely design in our cloud. Microwaves. You can see them clearly in the clouds, but you can't see them when there's no cloud. It does not mean that the microwaves aren't all over the country. We live now in a microwave oven. In a microwave oven. And our health is very much affected by that, by these frequencies. So, you know, it's interesting because think about those fires. You know, what this is a directed energy weapon. It's a directed energy weapon. It's a weapon of mass destruction. Microwaves coming from a phone can do this. Think about putting metal in a microwave oven and turning it on. What's going to happen? Ooh, explosion. So, yeah, the fires in California and the fires in Australia right now. what we are seeing are very similar fires to the fires that we have seen in California. And boy, the heat of these fires, and I'll show you just a few little glimpses of the unusualness of these fires. And then I will read some of an article that I found, Agenda 2030, going on in Australia. Oh, and another similarity to what's happening with in California with their high-speed rail and the areas where those fires are taking place. It seems that these fires are right in the area where they want to develop a high-speed rail to connect the smart cities. Same thing in Australia. But this is what upset me right here.
And after the days of controversy, the fireworks displays went ahead across our capital cities to ring in the new year. Sydney, the first in Australia.
As 2019 ticked down, the eyes of the world trained on Sydney and its annual spectacular show. More than 8 tonnes of fireworks, $6.5 million worth for one incredible 12-minute display. This almost didn't happen. Despite calls to cancel the fireworks in light of the deadly bushfires and a delay to the 9 p.m. fireworks due to wind, the show went on. An estimated 1 billion people watched around the world. Around 1 million were harbourside.
Excellent! Fantastic! Happy New Year!
There were few bad vantage points in Melbourne. 14 tonnes worth of fireworks were fired from 22 rooftops across the CBD. Around 400,000 revellers watched from the banks of the Yarra. There was extra bang in Brisbane's bash. 10,000 individual special effects added to the kilometre-long pyrotechnical display, making it the biggest in the city's history. Adelaide residents were out in force at Elder Park, and there was something of a disturbance when a stray firework from the 9 p.m. show started a small fire on the River Torrens. Though the midnight display was without a hitch. Attendees donated thousands of dollars to St Vincent de Paul's bushfire appeal, just weeks after 80 homes were lost in a blaze in the Adelaide Hills.
All right. In all of those areas where they were having those fantastic fireworks, the display, fires, the dry conditions. Now, this climate change thing, those dry conditions and the winds. You would think that they would not have fireworks going off like that. You know, I watched this whole display, the 12 minutes that cost $6.5 million. 12 minutes, $6.5 million. And you've got so many who have lost their homes. Oh, but, Carol, people just want to have fun. And it is New Year's Eve. Australians couldn't band together, and this is not anything about Australians because, hey, Americans don't give a shit about what's happening with other Americans. We just let them hey, well, too bad for you, and turn the other way. That's what's happening in an awful lot of countries. So it's not about Australians, but you've got an awful lot of people who are really hurting. They've lost their home. Some have lost their loved ones. There's thousands sitting on a beach because of these fires. I'm sorry, I'm not even... Look, it would make me really happy if they canceled these firework performances that, well, in Adelaide, it caused a fire, dry conditions, and you're going to be shooting off all of these fireworks. Oh, and those winds just kind of come up from nowhere. So it's a dangerous activity. A dangerous activity. Especially when, and watching these news clips about the fires in Australia, and then listening to people talk about climate change. All right. Associating the fires with climate change, and all you hear is dry, 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 and they do this. Yeah, it's very dangerous. It's irresponsible. But 6.5 million just in Sydney on this 12 minutes. Could people just say, you know what, cancel it and use that money to help the people who have lost everything? That would make me really happy, and it would be, you know, a New Year's Eve like none other. I don't get it. I'm, you know, this is 12 minutes. I sped it up. This is unbelievable. A lot of Australians are not having a very good New Year's Eve at all. And maybe I am one of those who, you know, when there's one person suffering in the world that, you know, you want to help them to get them out of their suffering so that you can go on and feel okay. Look at this. This is just in Sydney. It was going on in Brisbane. Is it Brisbane or Brisbane? Victoria, Adelaide, Melbourne. Millions and millions and millions of dollars to watch lights in the sky, while others are actually looking at that red, but it's burning down their homes. And it's life-threatening. And they're on the beach, while others, their fellow human beings, are just, hey, partying it up. I don't get this. I've never gotten it. I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand. It is obscene. And I was glad that I happened upon a video which I think is made by, I don't know, a gamer, or it's a virtual reality. Happy New Year, Australia. It's so, I'm sorry, I just find this so sick, considering the fires that are so close by. $12 minutes, 6.5 million. And people could have been so helped with that money. We really do need to change our ways, because the way we live is killing people. Yeah. Well, who was the person who, I'm not sure which video, here it is. Happy New Year from Australia. Alexandria Brangwyn. 2020 is not off to a good start. Every year I try to make it to the New Year's Eve fireworks in the Royal Botanical Gardens in Sydney, But this was one of the rare times I decided not to go. Australia at this time is in the grip of the worst bushfire emergency the nation has ever known. Tinder dry conditions. 0 rainfall for months, and the hottest summer ever, all brought about by climate change. Look into that, Alexandria. All brought about by climate change have meant the usual fires that sweep across the land have been more ferocious than ever recorded. Areas the size of many European countries have been reduced to ash, and thick, toxic smoke permeates the air. As communities lose everything, animals and humans die, and our situation worsens, celebrating with fireworks seemed obscene. Yes, you got it. You got it. 2 views. Yeah, happy New Year, Australia. This is what's happening. Not just in Australia, and whether it's fire or flooding, there are so many people who are really struggling. Having lost everything. And yeah, in great need of help. I have subscribers who have had to suffer the consequences, of the flooding or the fires, and they found out the hard way what their fellow human beings are like. The hard way meaning they got no help at all. And we do need to change our ways. This to me is just so repulsive, reprehensible, immoral, a flashy, flagrant show of not caring about all the people who are hanging out on a beach, all the people who have lost their homes. And yeah, I know a lot of people will call me negative, and don't you ever have anything positive to say. I will when I begin to see people change and help one another.
This is what is left of Conjola Park. This town was completely overrun with the Carawan fire yesterday afternoon, and you can just see the devastation here. There are homes that have been completely gutted by fire, and we've seen these all up and down the suburb. You can see...
This is how hot the fire is, melting the metal on the car. The glass is gone. But look at this tree right above the car. Look at the leaves. Really? So the flames must have been really, really high, but this tree still has its leaves. Yeah. I also saw more. Where is it? Right here. This car was burned, and the trees right above it, nothing. The leaves are still intact. This is the Adelaide fireworks show. If you want to stay updated on these fires in Australia, I suggest subscribing to Sky News Australia. They have a whole lot of videos And the last one was the thick smoke blankets Australia's capital. And it's toxic. So I was looking at this site right here, and it's I guess this is the smoke, but right in between, well, they have the manufactured cloud. But I find it interesting that this smoke has something very strange going through it. You've got the microwaves, as you can see right here in the smoke, you know, the evenly spaced lines. But the smoke, it's almost as if it's being held in place. Look. And it's got a nice frequency shot through it. It's not moving. This whole solid piece right here is not moving. Well, I went to Worldview just to check out I'm sorry, man. I don't, my microphone didn't work for a long time today, and then it started working again, so I don't understand what's going on. I honestly don't. Thank you very much. So this is December 20. Look at the frequencies right here. This is Australia. And just some, well, unusual sightings. All of this made by frequencies. You guys know this. And the nanotechnology, the nanoballoons are around, but weird looking cloud. Look at this. And these, well, the only thing that I can think of is a microwave. So, the cars burn and melt. The tree above it with the leaves are fine. So it just, I don't know. Maybe. Yeah. Burn up. So, Melbourne, Victoria, Sydney, Brisbane, and I believe the is it Malacot? I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing, but it's right along here somewhere. And those people are sitting on the beach trying to get away from these fires. All of these microwaves. Now this is the smoke coming from the fires. You can see the microwaves right through the ripples, the evenly spaced lines. So you don't need full out cloud. You just look closely and you can see it. All right. Let's just go through this. Wow, that's quite a design. This is one of the fires. I guess these are the fires. Yes. But strange looking smoke patterns, to say the least. Yeah, very strange. And I did notice something down here, which, well, look at these microwaves. Now this is the 21st, and you've got microwaves all over the coast, but odd looking clouds, which the only thing that I can think of is the nanotechnology, these nanoballoons. But these microwaves, boy, have really been pretty intense, as you can see. But this is the 21st. What is this? It looks like blinds. It looks like closed blinds. That's here on the 22nd, but it's not here on the 21st. So there might be, you know, a real reasonable answer to that. But really, are these natural clouds? No, they're not. Look at the microwaves. So we have people who are using technology, and they are destroying life with that technology to achieve what they want. You know, that does not make me a happy camper. Especially when you know full well that all life is suffering. Not just the two-legged, but a whole lot of four-leggeds. And look at this. Really? It looks like, I don't even know what it looks like. All right. Are the fires still going on in Brisbane? Or Brisbane? This is not a natural cloud. And, well, they have microwaves. You can see them right smack in the center here. And clearly frequencies are creating this cyclonic effect. Look at the microwaves out here. Look at this. So it's unfortunate that we can't get through to people, even when, you know, you see that, well, these are microwaves, very clear. Mother Nature does not do this, and people won't listen. Meanwhile, people are really suffering from these fires, and the four-leggeds, all life. This is not a natural cloud. Mother Nature does not work in severe, defined lines. Microwaves out here. That's the 23rd. Some of you from Australia said that you were heavily chemtrailed in the areas where the fires are. Not surprised. Not surprised. This is a faint cloud. And it's so, I mean, it's clear that that is not natural. It wouldn't just stop at a boundary as if there's a wall. Well, there could be a wall. It's an invisible wall. It's called a frequency. It's heartbreaking to see this. It's over and over again. But I'm afraid, guys, 2020 is going to be really hard on our emotional selves. This is the 29th. It looks like the fires were really, they exploded today. Though I would say that that's a lot of the smoke, but you can see the microwaves. This is the 30th. This was yesterday, or 2 days ago for you guys in Australia. Here are the fires, and you can see the microwaves right through it. That's the smoke from the fires. And here too, and here. Up here, Newcastle, and, well, that's interesting. What is this? Well, it's an artificial cloud of smoke, I guess, hit with a lot of frequencies, I guess. So, this is the 31st, and still you can see the frequencies in this smoke. Fire here, all along the railway, the high-speed railway path. Look at these fires. I read an article, 80 current fires right now going on in populated areas of Australia. Look at this. All of these are fires. So, all right, Melbourne, Victoria, Sydney, New South Wales, all the way on up to Brisbane. Well, wow, I don't know. All right, let me just show you this. Here are your fires taking place in Australia. And here is where they want to put the high-speed rail. Melbourne, all the way on up to Brisbane. And, well, does seem to, match. Just like that high-speed rail in California matches the fires here in Australia match this high-speed rail. And this is a very good article. Australian bushfires, a smart city conspiracy. I won't read it. I will link to it below. Could it be that current bushfires across the country are part of the smart city plan and the high-speed rail? Australia is committed to Agenda 2030 plan, which advocates for the implementation of radical changes to the central role of ownership rights of land and natural resources over the next decade. And your authorities have been currently developing your smart city initiatives, sustainable growth. Here's the amount of money that you have been gutting from or adding to your budget. You gut the backburning and the maintenance of your bushes, that's why these fires have grown so out of control. But they have an awful lot of money to develop your smart cities. And there's an awful lot of information right here in this article. So yeah, last few years have also made hazard reduction activities more difficult, including a cut back in back burning. So over 80 fires spreading, all lit at the same time. It adds more fuel to the fire. Sound like California? We're all in this together. They're blaming 4 or 3 12-year-old boys on some of the fires, that they intentionally set these fires. Do you really believe this story? I don't. And this article goes into the weird weather patterns. Yeah, I didn't know this, but one day, for the first time in your history, there was no rainfall anywhere across the country. And Australia is a big country. No rainfall. And of course, you know, the Bureau of Meteorology teams were scratching their heads like, no rainfall. That seems a little strange. At the same time, there were also many strange weather occurrences happening at the Queensland-New South Wales border, with echoes of metal or plastic fibers being recorded. Yeah. It's not weather related. Skies were clear last night and there was no rain recorded anywhere. What did they see? I actually posted this news clip on my channel. It was posted by Skies. That's the channel name, SKYES, who is in Australia. Okay. Well, could it be chaff? You know, that aluminum that the military spray. Oh my God. Small chaff, small metal or plastic fibers released into the air to help shield military aircraft from radar detection. And interesting that it's going over the areas where the fires were or are. Reports also suggested in September that a rare event took place 30 kilometers above the South Pole and was expected to impact Australia's rainfall outlook, giving you more drought. It was sudden stratospheric warming. Geoengineering in Australia goes into your HARP, which is the Jindalee Operational Radar Network, JORN. And the same company that's given you guys upgrades is the same company that took over HARP. And yeah, you've got your own weather modification companies. Do people in Australia not realize that they can make rain, that they've been doing that for a very, very long time? So what's going on that they're not making rain to put out these fires? So your former Prime Minister, Malcolm Turnbull, announced in 2007, $10 million will be given to the Australian Government Water Fund to the investigation of untried technology that aims to trigger rainfall from the atmosphere even when there are no clouds. Smart cities. It's all connected. It's all connected. Here's all your smart city information coupled with a sophisticated surveillance grid to monitor and control and create an environment where every aspect of your life will be surveilled 24/7. United Nations driven. Perth, Darwin, Melbourne, Newcastle, Adelaide. So why is this important? What does it have to do with the current Australian bushfires? Right there. And the company that is behind this, which has a nickname Clara, it's the Consolidated Land and Rail Australia Company. Clara made a proposal to the Australian government in 2017 for a high-speed rail train line from Brisbane to Melbourne, including a vision of new smart cities to be built along that route. It's headed by Nick Cleary, and he said, Clara is Australia's most ambitious master planning project. 8 compact smart cities across Victoria and New South Wales, connected to Melbourne, Canberra, and Sydney by high-speed rail. Livable, connected, sustainable, self-sufficient in energy and water use. And the first Clara city is proposed near Shepparton in Victoria's north. Until recently, there have been serious doubts whether the project would get off the ground. After being predicted to cost north of $100 billion to fully clear land and develop infrastructure, Cleary says they have secured crucial land to begin this mass project around the sites of the first 2 new cities. We have some land in our control around those locations. It's around those areas, about 10 kilometers from Shepparton. When investigating this, one must ask the question, is it merely a coincidence that this area is one of the locations under serious threat from fires? Many of the current fires go right along this route. Could we be seeing the intentional burning of Australia? Yes. I am so sorry that this is happening to you guys. I'm so sorry that all of this is happening to all of us. All links are below.